Alright, hello and welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing a little bit of an update here on the January Mercato. I did one a little while ago right before it was going to begin and kind of saying some of my thoughts. Of course, as with any transfer market, there's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of different links, a lot of different progressions as different teams swoop in and kind of make options difficult for Milan. And so I just kind of wanted to go through from front to back and kind of see exactly where we were looking, what links we were making, and what seemed most likely. And then I'm going to give my opinions on what I think we personally should do and our final transfer strategy towards the end here. So I'm going to start up top here. We're going to go with forwards initially. Strikers, we are kind of looking at, we're not going too hard on any strikers right now, which I personally think is a big mistake. I know that we have kind of coverage with having Rafael Leal play there, having Ante Rebic play there when Ibrahimovic is out, but I really think that we need a true striker, and ideally one who's similar to Zlatan. Our links right now: Luka Jovic, Arkadiusz Milik, Fernando Llorente, Andrea Belotti, Memphis Depay, Gianluca Scamacca, Mario Mandzukic, and Leonardo Pavoletti. So as far as who is most likely, it seems like over the past week or so that Mario Mandzukic is the most likely, with Leonardo Pavoletti as the second most likely, because it seems like we're looking just for a cheap stopgap option. I actually think that this strategy is fine if we're unwilling to spend money. What I would prefer to do is, in the summer, I would prefer to go for Gianluca Scamacca. This is who I mentioned last time, and I think that he is the best fit for us. He is tall, he's strong, he's very skillful, he can score your kind of poacher's goals, but he also can play with his back to goal, very much like Ibrahimovic. No, he's probably not going to have the sparkling career that Zlatan has had. That's going to be very, very rare for anybody to do, but he fits the mold. It would be the perfect time to bring him in so he could learn from Zlatan. He'd probably even play close to 50% of the games, which no other big-time team can guarantee him that much time. The problem is, as always, we're sluggish, we're slow with things. We don't want to pay a premium. We're gonna try to get a stopgap signing. We're gonna try to make sure we pay undercutting prices. So Juventus comes in and says, you know what, we think he is worth 20 million euros, and so we're gonna give it to you. Whereas Milan says, nah, we kind of wanted to pay 12 to 15, maybe a little over 15 with some bonuses. We're definitely not going to 20, sorry. So you're going to miss out on a guy who fits the mold that you're looking for. He's young, he's talented, he is as similar to Zlatan as you can be in this current age, and on top of that, he's Italian, which is actually, in my opinion, very important for Milan, as that was one of our core reasons from splitting from Inter, is that we wanted to always have an Italian core. I don't think we have much of an Italian core these days, so it's nice to pick up a couple players. When you see Milan fielding 2 to 3 Italians a game, that's pretty bad. We're becoming very close to Inter Milan, and when Inter starts more than you, it's not a great thing. So it would be very nice to actually pick up a quality Italian player. Of course, I don't just want to go get random Italian players. We should get good ones, which is how Milan has always been. Gattuso, Pirlo, Ambrosini, Maldini, Nesta, all these types of players that we used to have that we don't have anymore. So it would be nice to actually pick up a quality forward, and it's an extra bonus that he's Italian and would actually get a ton of playing time as a youngster. So I think that this is the perfect move. This is the guy that I want to go with. My second choice would be Belotti. He is a Milan fan, so he's going to give his all to be at this team. It is the next general progression of his career. He has outgrown Torino. Torino is holding him back significantly. He needs to move to a big team. And I know that his preference would be Milan, as he stated a couple years back. And I think that if we can't get Scamacca, we should go for Belotti. That being said, my ideal signing for the summer, which would not be January, would actually be Erling Haaland. Now, it may be very unrealistic to think that Haaland would come here, but think about it. If Milan qualifies for the Champions League, if we do pretty well in the league and finish first, second, or third, and we're starting to build something very, very special, we can also guarantee him a ton of time. He's going to mainly be the starter. He'll share some time with Ibra, but he gets to play with a striking legend in Ibrahimovic. He gets to start most of the games, and he gets to go with a team that has massive history and is actually bringing it back. We're finally on the cusp of returning to glory. This would be a great move for him if we keep this season on a high and we end in first, second, or third. I think it's actually possible. Plus, we've got Jans Petter Hauge, who is very good friends with him, And we're looking at Christoph Eier for defense, who is also of the same nationality. So it is possible. Yes, it may be more unreasonable because we can't dish out the cash like a lot of the other clubs can, like Man U or the bigger Premier League or La Liga teams, or even Juventus or Inter can. But it actually is a possibility. So if we can't get the man himself, Erling Haaland, who in my opinion is the best attacker in the world right now, then I would like to see us go for Gianluca Scamacca. And then if he is not a possibility because Milan wants to kind of wait and be sluggish as we always do, then I would prefer Andrea Belotti. I feel like Scamacca fits our budget the best because we could probably get away with paying 20 or a little bit less with some options and some bonuses in there. Belotti would be the next most expensive, and then of course Haaland would be more expensive after that, although I believe he has a release clause that might be pretty reasonable. So that's it for up front. I feel that if we're not going to do any of that, we really should go for Mario Mandzukic or Leonardo Pavoletti right now, just for depth, to get us through from January until June, and then we make that big move coming up in summer. I would consider, though, with how fast Juventus is moving now they're kind of taking pole position for Scamacca, I would like to see Milan put in some type of a clause or talk with them and say, hey, we're going to sign you in the summer, and kind of lock this up, or at least have it be a kind of verbal agreement that it's going to happen. That way he can stay at Genoa. He can develop a little bit more now this season. Yes, he's owned by Sassuolo, but I feel like you kind of have to get something in motion now for summer because Juventus will swoop. They did it before. They're going to keep doing it. We lost Chiesa to Juventus in the same way because they were willing to pay it and we weren't. And look at what happened when we played Juventus. Chiesa dominated us. Not that I'm his biggest fan. I don't exactly like his personality at all, but he would have been fantastic for us on the right wing, which is a needed position. And of course, Juve swoops up and gets him. And I feel like the same thing is going to happen with Scamacca, but I hope it doesn't. All right, so that about wraps up the kind of forward strikers type of deal for us that we are looking at. Now we move on to the attacking players, including wide players, attacking mid, stuff like that. We're not really going to be making many waves here, and I don't think that we need to. I feel like what we really should be doing is really locking down our contacts with Florian Thauvin. He needs to come on a free transfer, which is amazing, for the right wing spot. This is the perfect upgrade to Castillejo. He guarantees you goals. He's a very smart player. He's very slick. It's really the ideal signing for our right side because we do need goals from our wingers. And while Castillejo can provide a couple here and there, Hauge will provide a couple here and there. When it's not Rebic in, we don't have that type of player who's really going to kind of get in there and score goals. Leao can kind of do it, but he's definitely hit or miss. He's definitely been more hit over the past few weeks here, but we all know that Leao is still developing and he needs time. I don't want to put a ton of pressure on the kid and force him to have to produce every single game. So we actually need to set up this deal with Thauvin because I believe a couple other teams have inquired. I think Sevilla is the latest team to try and intercept this deal. So we need to lock things up very, very hard. And so Thauvin will come in the summer. We definitely can get by with who we have right now. So I don't think we need to make any changes this term, this January. Just lock up Thauvin for that right wing spot in summer. We really need to work on renewals right now. We have to re-sign Hakan Calhanoglu. My ideal target of Dominik Szoboszlai is gone now. Leipzig took him. So it is definitely time to re-sign Hakan. He has grown in this team. He's grown in confidence. He is becoming the player that we thought we signed. And for a year and a half, he really wasn't that great. And he's really developing into a consistent leader of the kind of midfield to attack linkage. He's been playing great for us. I think that this really would benefit not only us, but benefit Hakan. I feel like if he went somewhere else, he'd have to start from scratch again. He may not have as good of a time as he thinks he would. So we have to come to the middle and meet him on his salary. I know that we're trying to offer, I believe, between 3 and 3.5, and he wants maybe 5. I think we just need to budge and go to 4, and we're probably going to find an agreement, and that's it. All said and done. Next, we are talking about keeping Brahim Diaz. I think it's fine. I mean, he has had some sparks here. It really just comes down to cost. If they're going to charge an arm and a leg for Brahim, I don't necessarily think that it's worth it. But if it's a reasonable fee, then I think he's definitely worth it. So we're definitely going to be talking with Real Madrid and seeing if we want to keep him. If for some reason Real Madrid says no, or the price is too high, then we would probably give up on that and then really focus on signing Hakan. If all hell breaks loose, we don't re-sign Hakan, Brahim Diaz doesn't stay, then I think the next place to look would be to Gaetano Castrovilli of Fiorentina. they may charge a pretty penny for him, but I feel like if we lose both of them, God forbid, then that is the next spot to go with. Left wing, I don't think we need any help. We've got Ante Rebic, who should be the starter. We've got Rafael Leao, who can play there as well. Jans Petter Hauge. So we've got a lot of players who can play out wide on that left-hand side. Next, we're going to move back to our kind of holding midfielder slot. This is the Benacer, Kessié, Tonali role. Tonali is finally starting to step up. He showed in his last game against Torino that he is now capable of actually producing a quality performance like he was doing at Brescia. And just trust me, guys, give him time. He will be great. We made a lot of mistakes with a lot of our Italian players, especially in the center mid, for years and years, and sold people or lost faith in them really, really soon, only for them to turn around and do great things. For example, Manuel Locatelli. I'm sure we wish we didn't sell him now. We would have no problems in midfield with Locatelli, Tonali, Benacer, and Kessié. We'd be done. Also, Brian Cristante. Sold him for absolute peanuts. I'm sure we'd like to have him back here, as that would be a great fourth midfielder to have. We are going to be getting Tommaso Pobega back next summer. I just feel it. I mean, yes, it's not for sure, but we really should. He's been playing great. He would be a perfect fourth player to have. So while it is necessary we have somebody now, it's going to be strange because we will probably have 5 midfielders next season, and I guess that's okay. We're going to be having a lot of competitions. I'm planning on us being in Champions League, so between the Copa, between Champions League, between the league, maybe 5 midfielders isn't so outrageous. Having, Benacer, Kessié, Tonali as your primary 3, and then you've got Pobega, and then whoever we bring in now as our 4th and 5th. That would be fine. So the midfielders that we are looking at right now, that's been changing a lot. We were looking at, right now from Torino, Sauliho, Meite, Kawario Kone, Boubakary Soumare, Matthias Svanberg, Tommaso Pobega, of course, Kefren Turam, and Jordi Schouten. It seems like the links with Kone and Soumare are gone at this point. I really wanted Kawario Kone. I feel like he is the perfect youngster to back up Kessié. He's a ball winner naturally. Decent skills, but he's primarily a ball winner, and that's what I think that we need and want. We don't really need another attacking presence or somebody who plays some defense and then shoves forward a lot. That's not really who we need. I want Tonali in more of that kind of free role to be able to attack when he needs to, defend when he needs to, because he has a ton of skills, and it's nice to see him purely in that kind of center/D mid role rather than just a pure destroyer bruiser role. And having somebody like Kone next to him would have been fantastic. But I think those links are gone. I forget who ended up buying him. I believe he was either staying in France or moving to Germany, and it was a small fee too. I believe 6 or 7 million. It would have been the perfect cheap signing that would have, I think, paid dividends for us. So that was my top choice. He's gone now. I don't think Soumare is the choice. I think he's going to be too expensive for what he is, and he has more of a penchant for attacking rather than defending, so I don't think that's the guy. We've also been linked with Matthias Svanberg, and for 15 million, I don't really think that's the guy either. He has more of an attacking prowess as well. He's not the best defensively, so I think that we shouldn't be making that type of a move, as we need more of a center mid/D mid rather than we do a center mid/attacking mid. Of course, my primary choice would just be to bring back Tommaso Pobega, but I'm sure that Spezia does not want to let him go at this time, so they want to keep him for the rest of the year. Kefren Turam is a very promising youth. I think we can get him for a good price. I actually would prefer him right now. I think he'd be very, very good, as well as Jordi Schouten for Bologna. He actually is a very underrated talent. He's one of those kind of picks that we've only been linked with once or twice, and I feel that actually that would fit us very, very well. He'd be very reasonably priced. He is very good with a defense-first mentality, which is what we need, but he's very good with his feet. He's very good with his distribution. He would fit us perfectly. All that said, though, I believe that we're going to be going with Meite from Torino. I'm not too impressed. I don't think any Milan fans are super excited about this signing. I feel like we lost a lot of our primary signings, in particular Kone. And now we're kind of making it work with Meite. And we're going to be paying, I believe, somewhere around 10 million, which I think is just too much. Maybe 5, 6, 7, possibly up to 8 mil. I think Torino signed him for around 10 or 11 anyways, but he hasn't done anything too impressive to warrant that his price stays there or goes up at all. So hopefully we get him for less than that. It does seem like this transfer is going ahead. The biggest thing I can say about him is that he's got decent skills and he's got a very good physique, so he is strong. So as long as he can kind of reel it in and he provides a decent coverage and backup to Kessié, I'm okay with it. I don't think it's a very exciting signing. I don't think this is exactly where we need to go with this signing, but it is what it is. I would have been much more happy with Kone, and it is a little bit disappointing when Juventus snags Rovella, who is a very promising D-mid/center mid, for around 10 million, maybe a little bit less, and then we're looking at Meite for the same price. So it is kind of hard when you see your competitors making better deals, getting their primary targets immediately, and then we're kind of, for lack of a better word, farting around, wasting time, and then we lose our primary targets and then end up with Meite, who I don't think that was our primary target at all. And as I said, nobody's really excited about him, but guess what? Sometimes these signings work out, and sometimes they have a chip on their shoulder saying, you know what, I know nobody really, wanted me that bad, but guess what? I'm going to make this work, and I'm going to become a great player. So all the best to Meite. I think that this signing is going to go through. I hope we make a decent deal for him. And overall, if at the end of it all, next summer, we start, our next year of Serie A and hopefully Champions League with the lineup of Kessie, Benacer, Tonali, Pobega, and Meite, that's not too bad. We've got good depth. That's all right with me. All right, so next we're going to move back to side backs, as there's not really much movement going there, but we do have to talk about our outgoing transfers as well. It looks like we are going to be selling Andrea Conti to Fiorentina. While this is fine, I don't think we should do it right now. Yes, we have coverage on both the right and the left from Diogo Dalot, but we're one injury away from being in a side back kind of crisis. Maybe not because Calhanoglu can play there as well, but I don't think it's the right time. I think we need whatever extra depth we can have for right now, and I would much rather put a deal in place with Fiorentina saying, hey, we'll sell him in the summer, but we're going to keep him for the next few months just as a depth option, since we're going to be having Coppa Italia, Serie A, and Europa League. This is not the time to just go sell a guy. Now, Andrea Conti. I have also lost faith in him. Initially, I wanted to keep him and say, hey, let's see how he does, but after his injury, he just hasn't been the same, so I'm okay selling him. I think we're going to be getting around 7 million. It would be ideal to get around 10 for him. I believe we bought him for somewhere close to 20, as he was super, super promising. That being said, the past few games that he has subbed in, he's done pretty well. So it is a little bit bittersweet, as he might be coming back and getting his confidence again. So I personally would have not sold him right now. I would have waited till summer to offload him and see how he does, because say he does great over the next 6 months and he's starting to regain his confidence, his feel. Why would you sell him and have to go buy another right back next year? We're just kind of opening ourselves up to having to make another transfer in summer. That being said, one of the options that we looked at last year that we never ended up getting was Paolo Guglielmo. I feel like he's actually a really good option. He's more of an attacking option, as he also plays in that wingback spot, but he would be very cheap. He would fit the system well, and I believe that we could get him for a similar price as what we're selling Andrea Conti for. So, if we're going to sell Conti, I would prefer to go out and grab Paolo Guglielmo, because although Calhanoglu can play right back and he's solid there, I kind of would like to mold him more into a center back, because while he's probably better at right back right now, which was kind of evidenced by the past several games here, I think he could become a very, very good center back for us. And so I kind of feel that I wish our team would start doing this and mold him towards being that next center back in line, who can also play right back. So keeping Conte, if he starts playing well, it would have been totally fine with me. If we do sell him, my suggestion would be to go for Paolo Guglielmo. All right, now we move back to the next area that we've been working a lot on, and that's center backs. I personally have some very particular opinions on the center back role, as I feel like we may be going too hard at this. If you look at who we have right now, we've got Simon Kjaer, who's back from injury, Alessio Romagnoli, who those two are definitely the starting pair, and they should be the starting pair. Then we have behind him Matteo Gabbia, who's proven that he can start and did well for the several games that Romagnoli was out, and you didn't really even notice Romagnoli being gone because Gabbia had done so well. Then you have Calhanoglu, who has shown flashes of brilliance. Yes, he has lost his man marking a couple of times, but he's not a natural center back. He has shown flashes. Calhanoglu is going to be good. I mean, I know it's just my opinion, but I feel like this guy's going to be a very, very good player for us. He's super smart. You can tell he reads the game well. He's only going to improve from here, and when he improves his marking, he's going to be even better. His passing is kind of strange. As you can see, the balls he delivers are just kind of a little awkward, but he's a good athlete. His running form is kind of strange, but you know what? He's actually quick, so he's a good athlete. He's fast. He can play right back. He can play center back. I feel like he's a very smart player, so why not just keep him where he's at? Why are we bringing in extra center back right now? I mean, I don't get it. I feel like we have enough talent there. Plus, I don't get the hate on Matteo Musacchio. I think this is actually one of the bigger issues with Milan. what we've done to him, it makes no sense. Leo Duarte just hasn't worked out. He's been shown to not be that very good of a signing. I think it was perfect that we loaned him, but as of right now, you have Kyer, Romagnoli, Gabbia, Kalulu, and Musacchio. What the heck do you need another center back for? This is a complete waste of money right now. Now, you keep Musacchio for right now, you sell off Musacchio in summer, and then you go and buy your actual target. We don't need another center back right now. This is totally pointless. What we should be doing is really focusing on our next long-term signing. I don't want to see us going and picking up a Simakan. I don't think that he is going to be that great for us. I feel like he's just going to be a similar version of Kalulu, but we already have Kalulu. Why would you go and buy Simakan? And why would you waste 20 million on that? It just makes no sense for a center back, right back. If we're doing this, we really should be going for a full-on center back. There's been some links with Fikayo Tomori. There's been links with Christoph Ayer, Matteo Lovato, Ozan Kabak, and Nikola Milenkovich. I feel that we're going to be making a really strange call. The most recent links, obviously, are with Simakan and Kabak. I know those are our top two right now. I'm not the biggest fan of these signings personally. I don't think that they are what we need. Another link, though, that's been cropping up has been for Fikayo Tomori, but that looks like it's just a straight loan, and I actually am okay with that. I don't believe that we need to sign our next guy right now. I would rather wait till summer when our budget is a little bit higher and we can get exactly who we need. So if we bring in Fikayo Tomori just on a pure loan, just like we're doing with Brahim Diaz, great. He's fast, he's athletic, he doesn't mark very well, which is why I don't think he's going to be the best long-term solution, because our biggest problem on defense is marking on corners, on crosses. So why would you bring in a guy who that's his biggest weakness? He's super fast, he's decently strong, he's very athletic. I actually think that he'd be very good next to somebody who is a great kind of aerial marker, but right now that's not our strength. I don't think we bring in a guy who's more the same, but he's a better athlete. That being said, I would love him on loan. In the summer, though, I would definitely go for one of the following two. I would go for Nikola Milenkovich ideally, or Matteo Lovato. Those are the primary two. I feel like those are pure center backs. They're not this center back, right back combo. We need a center back to take over eventually for Simon Kyer, or to even seven for Romagnoli when he's out. I feel like that is the way to go. I'd rather spend 20-25 million on these picks when we get the one that we want. I really don't think it's worth wasting the money right now when we have 5 possible defenders. All of them are now healthy and fit. We just don't need a 6th right now. It seems like a total waste of time, and you're going to be halting the progress of both Gabbia and Kalulu, who, to be completely honest, they have shown nothing negative, nothing that, oh my gosh, they can't be the next center backs. Neither of them have shown any bad signs, so why would you halt their progress just to buy somebody new right now? I don't think it's worth it. Wait till summer. Once you kind of do a reshuffling and you offload Musacchio for whatever reason, then it's time to go for the primary target, and I would prefer either Milenkovich or Lovato. Alright, so overall roundup, what should we do? If you're looking at, we're kind of going from front to back, strikers, I think we should put in place an agreement with Scamacca to say, hey, let's sign you in summer, and then we can leave you at Genoa for the rest of the season, because I'm sure that's what Genoa would want. And then for the time being, we should get one of the stopgap signings. Either bring in Mandzukic on a free, which wouldn't cost us any money, or bring in Pavoletti for super cheap. I think those are the options right now. The only outlier would be if there's a chance to go get Erling Haaland in summer, that would definitely be the choice over Scamacca. If we can't get either of those, my next choice would be Belotti. Alright, moving back to the kind of wingers, other attackers, we really try hard to re-sign Calhanoglu, bump up our salary offers to 4 million. That's where he's probably going to meet us at, so we keep that going. If we can sign Diaz for a good fee, which is not too much overpriced, we sign Diaz. He fits the team, he's done well. I think that he's definitely worth it if the fee is right. If none of those work out, go for Castrovilli in the summer. For right winger, we sign Florian Thauvin on a free contract. We make sure that we lock this deal up. Don't let anybody swoop in like we always do. We need to go hard and finish this. This is definitely the guy. There's not that many better options out there, and how do you beat free for a top-class player? You don't. So lock him up. This is going to increase the quality of our attack for years to come. Finish that deal. For midfield, we have already lost out on several players, the biggest one being Kone. So at this point, I would actually prefer us to either bring back Pobega, although I know that's probably not going to happen, or we can bring in Kefren or Jordi Schouten. I feel like they would fit our team much, much better, but it seems like we're going with Meite from Torino. That's fine. As long as the fee is not crazy, I don't really think he's worth 10 million. If we can bring it down to 7 or 8, it could be reasonable. And honestly, he's just going to be a 4th or 5th option anyways, so it's fine. At least he's strong, and I feel like it's a decent signing. I don't think that is the ideal one, but hey, it's what we got. So I would have typically done something else. So if this was my squad, I would have brought in either Kone, Thuram, or Schouten, but it is what it is. Seems like we're going to end up with Meite, and then I would definitely bring back Pobega next summer. So that would be our 5 going into next year. For side backs, I would actually keep Andrea Conti for the end of the year. Work out a deal with Fiorentina saying, fine, you can sign him, but we're keeping him for the next 6 months because we have so many games coming up. And then if you want to sell him, go for it. To replace him, I would go get Paolo Giglione because he's a cheap option. He's good, he's talented, he's a little more attacking based, but he has a great cross on him and he still can defend pretty well. So that would be the choice that I would pick as a good cheap replacement to Andrea Conti. Additionally, if Diogo Dalot is a reasonable fee, I would definitely re-sign him as well. I like that he's versatile and flexible to play both on the right and left, but it may be likely that Manchester United does not want to let him go, and that's definitely possible, and it seems like where things are going, so we probably won't get to re-sign Dalot. Next with center backs, I actually don't think we should buy anybody right now. I think it's totally pointless and is a complete waste of money as we are going to be buying a 6th center back. Makes no sense. I don't get the hate for Musacchio. He's a totally fine deputy. I think we keep him till summer. If we really want to offload him, sell him in the summer. Let him play a little bit so he actually increases his value again because he's actually a good defender. And then you buy either Milenkovich or you buy Matteo Lovato. That would definitely be my preference. I feel like we're probably not going to do that. We're probably going to end up loaning Fikayo Tomori, or we're going to be getting Kabak probably. I don't think we're going to get Simakan anymore, as I believe Leipzig has swooped in. But unfortunately, I don't have faith that we're going to make a good call here. It is what it is. Overall, our signings have been pretty dang good, so if we have a couple misses, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world, but I really would prefer to see Milenkovich or Lovato be that next center back who's a top quality one to be brought in the summer, because I really don't think we need to waste our funds on that right now. Goalie, all we do is we just renew Donnarumma. As far as the renewals goes, we have Calhanoglu, Donnarumma, Romagnoli, Cassier. There's a lot of renewals we have to hit. And truthfully, renewing those players is even more important than signing new ones right now. So first things first, renew the players, then you look at the different ones and sign the players, and we'll go from there. So hopefully Milan figures it out. As of the way that the links have been going recently, I am not super excited as I was when we very first started off with these links, but we'll see how it goes. I've given my thoughts, of course. I don't believe that Milan cares what I think, as I'm just a random YouTuber. But if I were to build my ideal squad for next season, it would be either Haaland, Belotti, or Scamacca up front, sharing time with Ibra. It would be Rebic on the left, being backed up by Leao and Hauga. And then on the right side, it would be Thauvin, being backed up by either Castillejo or Salamakers if we sell Castillejo. Attacking mid, we would re-sign Calhanoglu, and then we would have Brahim Diaz as a backup. If not, then we would see if Daniel Maldini can answer the call. And if both go, then I would consider Gaetano Castrovilli for that spot. For center mid, I would ideally have your Benacer, Cassier, Tonale rotation going. And then I would like to actually have either Jordi Schouten or Kefren Thuram or Kone, but we're probably going to end up with Meite, so that's fine. And then I would definitely bring back Pobega, and that's a good 5-man depth for the upcoming season. For side back, if we're selling Conti, I would bring in Paolo Giglione for that spot, and then I would try to sign Diogo Dalot if the price is good. And then I would, if we are selling Matteo Musacchio, I would then bring in either Nikola Milenkovich or Matteo Lovato to eventually take over that center back role from Kjaer once he gets to his retirement age. I know that he's probably not close. He feels like he's a guy who can play for a couple more years, kind of like a Andrea Barzagli. And that's pretty much that. I feel like left back is pretty solid right now if we keep Dalot. If we don't keep Dalot, we actually don't have a backup left back either, so we're going to run into some problems. So we'll see what happens. Those are my thoughts. That would be my ideal team for next season. Let me know your guys' thoughts and if you agree, disagree, or what some of your ideas would be. I will do another update or two probably in about a week or so and see where the market's going, as well as a transfer roundup when the market is over. So that is that. As always, take care and Forza Milan.